If your succulent is struggling, the cause may not be neglect. Coffee grounds, kitchen scraps, and gravel all seem helpful, but inside a pot they can work against the roots. Let's begin with the most common one, coffee grounds.
We start at the surface with the first myth, sprinkling used coffee grounds on top of the soil. The rationale is that coffee grounds add acidity and a natural nitrogen boost. In a small pot, spent grounds create an immediate hydrology problem. They consist of small, dense organic particles that act like wet flour. They pack together tightly and hold on to moisture like a sponge, behaving exactly the opposite of a lean, fast-draining succulent mix. This side-by-side saturation test shows the physical reaction. On the left, water instantly disappears into coarse mineral grit, finding gaps and pulling fresh air behind it. On the right, the exact same amount of water drops onto fine spent grounds and sits pooling entirely on top. A layer of wet grounds sitting in a low airflow environment often develops a whitish fuzz. That surface mold is not actually attacking the plant. It operates as a smoke alarm, indicating that moisture and decomposable material are lingering far longer than they should. The true danger lies just below that aerobic surface mold. In the pocket of grounds pressed tightly against the plant's base, oxygen is heavily restricted and water is trapped. That environment breeds anaerobic bacteria, which attack the plant's tissue and cause root rot. This happens constantly to beginners keeping an Echeveria elegans. The tight rosette can look perfectly firm and healthy from above, while pale fuzz on the soil quietly masks severe rot, destroying the stem below the surface. By adding coffee grounds, you build a water-retaining lid over the soil. The plant receives unneeded nitrogen, while its root system is starved of air and held in constant moisture. Moving deeper into the pot, we encounter the natural fertilizer myth. Growers push crushed eggshells or banana peels directly into the dirt, expecting to provide calcium and potassium to the roots. This confuses nutrient presence with nutrient availability. Think of a pantry fully stocked with canned food. Having the cans in the room does not feed you if you have no tools to open them. The label "contains calcium" applies to the eggshell itself, not to what the plant can absorb today. Look at this split-screen comparison. On the left, an eggshell fragment violently reacting and dissolving in pure vinegar, an acid strong enough to release calcium. On the right, an identical shell fragment sits completely unchanged in dry potting soil. Watering a succulent is nowhere near acidic enough to break that shell down. Inside a small container, there is a severe microbial shortfall. Potted succulent mix is engineered to drain fast, making it nearly sterile by design. Without a massive workhorse of worms and bacteria, raw scraps do not compost. They simply sit beside the roots, slowly rotting over months and holding on to local moisture. This undecomposed matter brings a secondary threat: fungus gnats. These tiny flies are drawn to damp, decaying organic pockets. Once established, their larvae live in the wet scraps and chew away at the succulent's delicate, microscopic root hairs, the exact structures the plant depends on to drink. Burying raw kitchen scraps in a pot bypasses the composting process entirely. It forces slow rotting matter, pests, and moisture directly into the heart of a root system built for arid conditions. Descending to the very bottom of the pot brings us to the most widely taught fake fix in succulent care, adding a layer of gravel, sand, or pebbles specifically to improve drainage. The idea persists because it mimics basic plumbing. Wide pipes drain faster than narrow ones. But plumbing logic fails inside closed containers. Water moves easily from large open gaps into small, tight gaps, but it physically struggles to do the reverse. This diagram illustrates a principle called capillary tension. Fine soil creates tiny pores that hold onto water tightly. Where that fine soil meets large, airy gravel, a textural discontinuity forms. The small pores grip the water too strongly for the wide open gravel to pull it downward. The result is a perched water table. The fine soil resting just above the gravel boundary becomes completely waterlogged. It cannot release a single drop into the stones below until that bottom layer of soil is 100% saturated. You can test this physics concept in your kitchen. If you hold a wet paper towel directly above a tray of large dry pebbles, The fine fibers of the towel will not jump the water across into the large dry spaces. The moisture stays held in the fine material. We can see the damage clearly in this side-by-side of root distribution. On the left, in a pot with uniform soil, healthy pale roots spread evenly to the bottom. On the right, in a pot with a gravel layer, a jade plant's roots actively cluster in the dry upper soil. Right above the gravel, where the saturated shelf sits, the roots turn black and rot. A gravel drainage layer does not drain water. It creates a physical barrier that artificially raises the flood zone inside the pot, holding water right against the roots and starving the plant of oxygen. Out of pure love for our plants, we accidentally build perfect traps. We pack a moldy lid at the surface, we bury rotting decomposition zones in the middle, and we install a flooded shelf at the bottom. Keeping a succulent alive requires taking things away. It means unlearning the instinct that adding ingredients equates to providing care. If your pots currently have coffee grounds, banana peels, or gravel in them, there is no need to panic. Do not wildly rip your plants out of their soil today. The rescue is a gentle, subtractive process, and we walk through it in part 2. We will also debunk the tap water myth, reveal the trap of bottom watering, and show you the exact steps to clear out the old soil and establish a clean, lean environment where your succulent can thrive.
Those additions create the damage. Now let's remove them and fix the 2 watering myths that make it worse.
Most succulent problems are caused by the things we add out of love, but the fear surrounding how we water is usually misplaced. Ordinary, clean tap water isn't toxic to your plant, and bottom watering isn't a mandatory rule you have to follow every time. Our goal today is to read what your pot is telling you about your water quality. We'll match your watering technique to the soil's immediate needs and walk through a strictly subtractive rescue for plants trapped in over-amended soil. To do this safely, you only need a few things: a pot with a drainage hole, dry succulent mix, a clean cutting tool, and a clear workspace. Resolving a succulent's decline rarely means buying a new fertilizer or a specialty product. It means identifying the hidden physical traps in your current setup and taking them out. Let's start by looking at municipal tap water. It contains chlorine, which evaporates quickly, and chloramine, which persists longer in the water. At standard tap concentrations, neither of these disinfectants is harmful to your succulent. The real variable is dissolved minerals, primarily calcium and magnesium. This is what makes water hard. Hard water doesn't poison a root system instantly. Instead, over months of evaporation, it leaves physical mineral deposits behind. To spot a problem, we establish a baseline. A clean terracotta rim and a clear soil surface tell you that your watering frequency, flushing history, and water source are working well together. Your first warning sign is a dry, chalky white ring appearing strictly on the outside of the terracotta pot. This is normal evaporation pulling minerals through the porous clay. You can wipe it off and continue to monitor the plant. The critical failure state happens when a heavy, dense mineral crust coats the actual soil surface, especially if you notice the plant's roots stalling or turning dark. Even in this state, the water source is rarely the sole cause of death. Heavy crust on the soil is a prompt to check how often you flush the pot from above, and whether your soil drains well enough to let that excess water escape. This brings us to bottom watering. Setting a pot in a tray of water is an excellent, targeted tool for rehydrating tight rosettes or peat that has dried out and become completely hydrophobic. But it is a specialized tool, not a universal rule. When you water from below, the dry pore spaces in the soil act like microscopic straws. Through capillary rise, they actively pull that moisture upward, gradually wetting the root doll from the bottom to the top. The flaw with exclusively watering this way is that dissolved salts and minerals are carried upward along with the water. When that moisture evaporates, the salts are left behind at the surface, slowly building up a concentrated mineral crust. Top watering does the exact opposite. Pouring water slowly over the surface flushes those accumulated minerals down through the soil profile and out the drainage hole. Leaving a pot standing in a tray of water for hours after the soil is saturated is highly dangerous. It shifts the technique from a controlled drink into a storage reservoir, keeping the lowest roots completely submerged until they suffocate. The correct watering method depends on what the pot needs that day: drawing moisture up from the bottom to fix dry pockets, or pouring water down from the top to clear out old salts. If your plant is sitting in over-amended soil, we need to unpot it. Support the base of the stem with your fingers and gently tip the plant out. Do not pull on the leaves. Run a 3-point check on the exposed roots. Look for pale, healthy color, feel for firm tissue, and smell the root ball. A sour, swampy odor indicates rot. The core of this rescue is subtraction. Gently brush away old coffee grounds, raw banana peels, and any gravel layer at the bottom. Leave the healthy roots intact. You do not need to scrub them bare. If the roots are firm, keep the original root system. If the roots smear, collapse, or the stem base is dark and soft, take a clean cutting from the unaffected top growth. Repot the surviving healthy tissue into a clean pot with an unobstructed drainage hole. Use a single, lean, uniform, porous mix from top to bottom. Saving a plant from over-amended soil relies entirely on this uniform drainage. Adding more gravel layers or pouring in new chemical fixes will only recreate the original problem. Let's apply this diagnosis to 3 specific scenarios. First, an Echeveria elegans exhibiting soft leaves and whitish mold on the soil. That mold means a damp organic cap is trapping moisture at the surface, and the soft leaves point to suffocating roots, not a thirsty plant. The fix here is to withhold water. Unpot the plant and completely remove the damp surface amendment before repotting it into a uniform, dry mix. Second, a jade plant potted with a bottom gravel layer. Water moves easily through coarse scraps, but fine soil holds on to moisture too tightly to let it cross that boundary. This creates a perched water table, keeping the roots perpetually soggy despite a working drainage hole below. To fix the jade, discard the layered construction entirely. Repot the plant into a single uniform mix, so water can travel evenly all the way to the exit. Third, a zebra plant, showing a heavy white crust across the soil after months of sitting in compacted mix and hard tap water. On the next watering day, top water the zebra plant slowly and deliberately. Continue pouring until the clean runoff completely clears the pot's bottom hole, flushing the trapped salts away. Across all 3 scenarios, simply treating the cosmetic symptom fails. You have to identify the physical soil trap, whether it's an organic cap, a gravel barrier, or a mineral crust, and remove it. Your repotted succulent is now secure, sitting in a uniform mix free of hidden water traps and decomposing scraps. The beginner instinct is to immediately water the plant to help it settle. Handling the plant creates microscopic wounds on the fine roots, and applying water to those fresh wounds invites rot. Instead, practice quiet aftercare. Place the pot in bright, indirect light. Wait a few days for the damaged tissue to stabilize before you reintroduce water. True vitality in succulent care comes from subtracting what doesn't belong before adding anything new. Give the roots a uniform environment, ensure the pot can drain, and let the plant recover on its own time.
So that is the full rescue. The part to hold on to is that, for a succulent, alive means subtracting, take things out, and give the plant lean soil, a drainage hole, and time. Tell me in the comments which of these myths you were following out of love. And if you want to go right back to where this series started, the very first myths video is waiting for you now.